everyone, and welcome once again to the P.o.P,
the podcast of positivity.
Today we are going to be talking about WWE.
Ooh, wrestling. And I am LoneWolfanCub.
And I'm GamerDad3.
And you can find us on Twitch, and if you want to be really awesome, hit that like, comment, and subscribe down below.
First of all, we're going to do a little bit of a background, like details of how the company got started, and then we're going to go into various topics and our favourite things.
Alrighty.
The company was founded by either Jess McMahon or Vincent J. McMahon in January of 1953, 69 years ago, as Capital Wrestling Corporated Limited. And then in April of 63, 59 years ago, they rebranded to Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
So the
WWF. No, sorry, WWF.
Yeah, 3 W's.
Yeah, I did 4 then.
So it was like www dot.
Yeah. February of 1980, 42 years ago, there was a foundation of Tartan Sports Incorporated, founded by Vince and Linda McMahon. June of 1982, 40 years ago, it was a purchase of Capital Wrestling Corporation Limited by Tartan Sports. That's the background of it. The current key people in WWE is obviously Vince McMahon, he's the chairman and CEO. There's Nick Khan, he's the president and chief revenue officer.
Sorry, had a hairball
there. Paul Triple H Levesque is the executive vice president of global talent strategy and development. And you got the one and only Double J, Jeff Jarrett, as a senior vice president of live events.
Wow, I did not know that Jeff Jarrett was still involved with the company. I think the heir apparent, and that we'll just speaking briefly on management behind the scenes of running, the company that is, I think the person that has been most groomed to take over that company is Triple H.
Yeah.
I think that company's future depends on him. He's a key component when Vince either dies or steps down, but I think it'll be he dies. I don't think that man will ever quit working. I'm hearing from so many people on that guy's work ethic, I see him dying working.
He's one of those that'll probably die to live events backstage.
Like Jerry Lawler almost did on us.
Yeah, that was a scary one, that one. Hopefully Vince doesn't die at a live event, but like you said, his work ethic, he will probably do something in that.
I mean, hey, I'll give it to him for, 70-something years old, right?
He is currently 76.
76, Jesus. Yo, he just kind of like rumbled. I mean, he totally botched the stunner spot.
Oh, too soon. Mystery Man trying to get away, but Austin stuns McMahon.
Oh,
he totally botched that. That was terrible.
Even Stone Cold himself has said that worst person to take a stunner is Vince. He always botches it or gets the timing wrong.
Yeah.
And he said the best person to take a stunner off him is The Rock.
He said that. I've seen him say that numerous interviews where he said the best guy to sell a damn stunner, he says, is The Rock. He said he could sell a stunner like no tomorrow. And I mean, he did. If you go back and just YouTube Stone Cold's top 10 stunners, guarantee you there's going to be one or two of them from The Rock. The Rock, when he would hit a stunner on The Rock, I mean, The Rock would springboard himself and go into like a flip.
He'll do a backward roll, flip up on his hands, and drop.
Oh, another stunner.
I mean, that's entertainment, though. That's,
Yeah.
you know, if you read The Rock's biography, or if you've read anything about him, or you've watched Young Rock on ABC, or not ABC, NBC, sorry. Here in America, it's on NBC. It's called Young Rock. They're just finishing up their second season. You know, if you've watched some of those episodes, or you've read his biography, The Rock has said that he was never the greatest technique-wise. The first thing that he learned from his father, who was Rocky Johnson, one of the half of the first ever African-American tag team, with Tony Atlas, who's also a Hall of Famer, as well as Rocky Johnson's in the Hall of Fame as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Rocky Johnson's in there, the Soul Man. But he said the first thing that he learned was how to sell it, how to evoke pain and emotion and project that to get a reaction out of the audience.
Yeah.
So it wasn't technique that he learned, it was taking bumps and selling it. That's what he learned first. And so that's interesting. It's interesting.
Many people call it an art form. There's only a handful these days that can pull it off.
Well, and that's the thing with what's interesting about wrestling now is that everything can be played back, everything can be recorded. You know, TiVos, DVRs, you know, cellular devices. You know, zooming in, drones. You know, you can get camera angles from drones. Everything is under a microscope now with this new generation of technology and replay, you know, ability, and it's very hard. I think it's not like it was even in the early 2000s. I think that once 2008, 2009 hit, selling it to the audience has been harder than ever, in my opinion, because of technology. Because you can see where, oh, he definitely didn't connect with that punch. You can see, you know what I mean? You can go back and zoom in.
You can go frame by frame and clearly see that it just completely missed.
Exactly. But it wasn't like that in the 80s, the 90s, the 70s, the 60s. You didn't have that ability. No. And the quality, even if you had a tape of it, the quality wasn't the greatest. And it was grainy, so it was still questionable, where it was like, I don't know, he might have connected, you know. Now it's like, you put it on 4K, you can see the drops of sweat coming off of them.
Yeah, especially on Bobby Lashley.
Oh, God. That's a sweaty man.
1970-99 was the start of the Attitude Era. There's that Stone Cold, Mankind, Vader, The Rock, DX, Undertaker. He debuted the year I was born, 91.
Man, that makes me feel old.
I feel saying it. I've actually got the first 15 WrestleManias on VHS in a big, massive box set.
Wow. Well, those are probably double taped, aren't they?
Well,
are they double tapes? I'm like, for each WrestleMania, they're probably double tapes, aren't they? Or is it one tape for each WrestleMania?
It's one tape for each WrestleMania.
Gotcha.
And on one of those matches that stick out in my head is WrestleMania 15, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon ladder match.
That wasn't 15. It was, I'm pretty sure that was 12. Let me check.
I'm sure it was 15.
No, dude. 15 was the 15 was The Rock and Stone Cold the first time, because 16 was 2000.
WrestleMania 16 was the first ever TLC match.
At a WrestleMania, yeah.
I just loved that match. It was back and forth the whole time. Shawn Michaels diving off the bloody ladder.
Big old frog splash.
Yeah. Well, more like it was more like a frog dive or a frog splat. That was for the title, if I'm right.
Yeah, the IC. Yeah, the IC title, yeah. Because That was Razor Ramon was the champion, and Michaels was the champion, when he came back. Because Razor, Michaels had to leave. I think that was his first stint of getting himself cleaned up. And,
something like that,
yeah, he came back, and Razor was the champion, and Michaels came in. So, which I think pretty much after that too, that was where he started earning the name Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of it, the showstopper.
Yeah, there's never going to be another Mr. WrestleMania.
No, there's only one Shawn Michaels.
Yep. Just how there's only one Mick Foley.
What that dude did to his body for the fans.
Yeah. Just like the Hell in a Cell match, what everyone just keeps talking about.
That was here in Pittsburgh.
When Undertaker threw him off.
That was on the news. Wrestling was on the live news because they were like, "Did this dude die?"
The way Jim Ross was going on about it, oh my God, they killed him! Shut everything, close everything.
Yeah, that was.
It was just pure panic, mayhem.
That'll never be replicated.
No.
It's been tried, but there's a lot of safety features. You know what I mean? Shane has done it, a few others.
Yeah.
Shane McMahon, if you don't know who I'm referring to, is Shane McMahon.
Shane O'Mac.
I think WrestleMania 33, I think. Was it 33 or 34? He fought Undertaker or some kind of Hell in a Cell.
Shane McMahon was lad on the table. Undertaker dove off, and then someone pulled him out of the way.
Yeah, I think that is what happened. But no, then I thought Shane was on the side of it, and he falls backwards. I swear he's up on the side of it. Or maybe I'm thinking when he was on the side of the Jumbotron and Steve Blackman knocked him off the Jumbotron.
Yeah, I'm surprised that dude's not dead. Honestly.
Right? I'm surprised he can still do a coast to coast as old as he is.
And as how bulky he is now as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. He definitely got that.
When he come back after that long time away, and it was all jacked up.
Dude, yeah, he looked like his dad did in the '90s.
Yeah.
Steroid McMahon. I don't care what anybody says, man. He was doing something, because there's no way you're that jacked at 50-something years old.
That quickly.
You go from but the rumor was, and see, there's not a lot of photos of it. The rumor was like even back in the '80s, like Vince was jacked. Like he wasn't a tiny guy. Like he was.
You could definitely see that there was something there.
Oh yeah, if you watch the old videos, I mean, you could tell when he's wearing the old blazers and everything. You could tell like he had a big chest. You could tell he was, I'm not saying he was out of shape or anything like that. I'm just saying like when he had those feuds with Stone Cold and The Rock in the late '90s, early 2000s. I mean, he was jacked for his age. Back then it was like for his age, it was whoa. What's this guy doing? This is coming out looking like Hulk Hogan.
Well, speaking of feuds, or rivalries, whatever you want to call it, which rivalry stands out the most to you?
Oh man, I would say for me, it's got to be a tie. It's going to be a hard tie for me. And the reason I say this is because it involves all three of them, and how it went down naturally. But the Attitude Era, if you guys don't know, was carried by three superstars on the championship level. Four superstars, and that would consist of Triple H, Undertaker, Stone Cold, and The Rock. Those four carried the championship from, in my opinion, 98 to like 2001, 2002. I mean, they were the Mecca. They were the big names. And then you had a good supporting cast as well, you know, D-Generation X, you know, Scotty Too Hottie, Grandmaster Sexay, Rikishi, Al Snow, Steve Blackman, Ken Shamrock, Big Boss Man, Midian, Viscera, The Brood with Edge, Christian, and Gangrel, you know, and then you had the Divas and you know, the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys, and then you had Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero.
Take a breath.
You can just keep going. The Attitude Era was jam-packed with Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Future Hall of Famers. Some of them still aren't even Hall of Famers, but Godfather, another one. But anyways, going back to the Attitude Era, I think for me would be Stone Cold and The Rock, and then as well The Rock and Triple H going against the McMahons and D-Generation X. And really all you had was Mick Foley, the Rock and Sock connection.
Oh, God.
But most ingenious tag team, in my opinion, ever. It worked. You wouldn't think it would work, but it worked. But the reason I say The Rock and Stone Cold was because they were both just so charismatic that, you know, there was things that Stone Cold did where he wasn't your typical face. He did things that bad guys would do, but people accepted it because it was attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the same thing with The Rock. We knew The Rock was the bad guy, but the that he would say, you couldn't help but laugh. You couldn't help but be entranced and pulled into his catchphrases, his charisma. And then, unfortunately, Stone Cold had a nagging neck injury from being spiked on the mat in 1999. They had it set up. I'll never forget. They had it set up. Stone Cold was looking in the back for somebody, and he got hit with a car at the Royal Rumble 2000. He got hit.
If I remember, that was Rikishi.
I don't remember who hit him with the car. The interesting part is that in 2000 Royal Rumble came along, and at that point The Rock was gaining a lot of momentum. Stone Cold was still in the picture. Triple H was the champion at that point. I don't remember if he beat Stone Cold. I think he beat Stone Cold, if I remember correctly, or he beat The Rock. But essentially they had Stone Cold get hit in the back, so that kind of ended anything between Stone Cold and The Rock ever happening again.
Yeah.
For at least that time period. And then that night at Royal Rumble 2000, Rock wins the Royal Rumble, and you know, obviously he goes on to a championship bout. It turned into a fatal four-way, Big Show, Mick Foley, Triple H, and The Rock, with a McMahon behind each one of them.
I remember that one.
Yeah, and I think it was
Linda was with Big Show.
yeah, Vince was with
Triple H.
no, Stephanie was with Triple H.
Oh, naturally, yeah.
Yeah.
Shane was behind.
That's The Rock. Shane was behind The Rock, and Vince was behind Mick Foley.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But then Triple H won that, and then Undertaker had been gone as well, and then that's when the Triple H Rock feud really started picking up, and Judgment Day came, where they had a 60-minute Iron Man match, and The Rock was winning it. He was winning it. And I thought, finally, no more Triple H. And then American Badass Undertaker shows up and premieres.
Yeah.
Comes out on his motorcycle.
That was epic.
He just devastates D-Generation X and everybody other than The Rock.
He come down, glasses, motorbike, big trench coat.
Yeah.
He just got in the ring, pop.
Oh, he laid everybody out.
Yeah. The whole crowd went mental.
Mm-hmm.
There was jumping off the seats, jaws dropping to the floor.
Yep. People lost it when he showed up.
The American Badass was one of my favorite Undertakers. But back to the rivalries.
Yeah. So the Austin Rock, and then that rivalry kind of it flinted out because everybody loved Rock so much, and then they did the Rock and Sock connection after WrestleMania 15. You know, he lost to Stone Cold, obviously, and Stone Cold was the champ until Triple H, and then you had, you know, Rock and Sock feuding with Triple H, and that started with the birth of SmackDown. I think the first night of SmackDown, it was a championship bout between The Rock and Triple H. And, I think that's what it was. The belt was vacant, and Triple H got it. Triple H won the belt, if I recall, the inaugural episode of SmackDown. I think that's how it happened. Belt was vacant.
I can't remember that far back, but yeah, at some point Triple H did end up with a belt. I can't remember.
Yeah, well,
exactly
Triple H getting that fucking belt, dude. It was so hard for The Rock and everybody to get that fucking belt back off of him, dude. And then it was like they'd get the belt off of him, and then the next pay-per-view he'd beat him again because they'd get screwed. He'd get screwed by the McMahons.
So your rivalry was Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H, and Undertaker.
Yeah, those guys and their rivalries were legendary.
For me, rivalries that stand out would have to be a tag team of Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudleys.
Yeah,
that was one of my favourite tag team rivalries. Singles rivalries, there's so many that's been an awesome thing going. I honestly can't start.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good rivalries. I mean, dating up even the current, you know.
There was one of John Cena and Randy Orton. That was a good one.
Their first run against each other.
All of it, really. Just them two going off against each other, working with each other, and the whole storyline with them both. That was awesome on its own. I think it was Extreme Rules when for an I Quit match.
Ooh. See, and that's some of the ones I missed because I took a hiatus.
Yeah. If you go back on YouTube and type in John Cena, Randy Orton, I Quit match. At one point, Randy Orton got tied up on top of the ring post. On the outside, John Cena gets a kendo stick, smack multiple times into his ribs.
Yeah, kendo stick. Me and my buddies used to smack each other. We got our hands on one from a flea market. Yeah, they don't feel good, I'll tell you that much.
John Cena and Randy Orton is one of my favourite singles rivalries. Who do you think should or should not be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, who should or should not be in the Hall of Fame?
And bear in mind, this is just our opinions. We don't mean to offend anyone, but it's just our opinions.
I would have to say one particular that sticks out to me is Sonny. The reason I say Sonny is just because repetitively, historically, she causes so much drama and problems in and out of the locker room, behind the scenes, on social media. She's continually getting in trouble. And she's in her 60s now, I think, 50s or 60s, and I just don't think that she's deserving. You know, you put her up there in names, Andre the Giant, and many others, because that's what I think when I hear the Hall of Fame. Is I think of the legends, and I just feel like I don't feel she holds a candle to any of those names. Another one that sticks out to me, and these are just my opinions, if the rumors are true about the fabulous Moolah, and what she was doing to, the women she trained, and allegedly as well, young girls pimping them out. If there's truth to that,
I honestly don't know about that.
I would certainly say that I don't think she's deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. If those rumors are true. As for who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame that is yet to be in there, I mean, of course, but they're not done yet with their so-called careers. They could still have a few more matches. I mean, Randy Orton.
He's definitely in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Randy Orton, John Cena, The Rock. Triple H should be going in this upcoming year. I think he should be the headliner.
Yeah.
For the upcoming class. I don't, in my opinion, I don't think there's any other name right now they could surpass his due and ballot for the Hall of Fame would be Triple H. I think the class of 2023 is definitely Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, or aka Hunter Hearst Helmsley. As far as other guys that have not gotten into the Hall of Fame that are not part of the company anymore, the Hardy Boys, individually and tag team wise, Christian is another one. I think just from the work accolades that he had done. Yeah, that's a Christian's definitely one. In my opinion, he should definitely be put in. They just got inducted in this year, both of them.
Yeah, and Undertaker really did deserve it.
Oh yeah, especially 30 years.
Yeah, especially after that streak.
30 years. Lesnar is another one, and I would say manager-wise, hands down, Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
Paul Heyman is for sure. I mean, whenever he wants to say he's done.
Although he's not very likable, he does deserve a Hall of Fame spot.
Dude,
when he's finished.
When he's finished, but I think future Hall of Famers, like guys who have the potential of being faces of the company, and it's still very early to tell. Really, the ones that I'm just gonna say it, and I know you're probably gonna get mad, but I mean, John Cena has already given the dude his endorsement, and that's saying a lot because Cena gave the endorsement to Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Look where those guys are now.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna have to say Austin Theory. I think has the potential. He still needs a lot of growth, but I think he has the potential to be a great.
Yeah, Theory is good, but right now he's a douche.
But see, that's you gotta remember.
That's the character. I know.
You gotta go to the psychology. See, that's what makes him great. That's what made Triple H great. Like, when I was a kid, and I mean, I was 12, 13, I fucking hated Triple H. Like, if I seen Triple H when I was 12, 13, I would spit on him. Like, that's how much I fucking hated him. But I tell you what, that's how you know he's that good of a fucking wrestler.
Yeah.
Because he's doing his job right as a heel. Because I hate him that much that if I seen him, I was going to spit on him.
You love to hate him, you hate to love him, sort of thing.
And yeah. And that's what, I think people sometimes forget that. And I think that's why, just touching on this, because he'll be a Hall of Famer, Roman Reigns. Yeah, he's annoying as yeah. he can't be beat by anybody right now. I'll tell you right now, he's got it. He's got it, and that's why so many people are receiving him well now, is because he's a believable heel. He's believable because the things he's saying are real. Some of those things he's saying is actually how he really feels towards WWE fans and how they booed him when he was a face and everything. He got tired of it, just like The Rock. That's why, The Rock was not well received as a face, because people could tell he wasn't being himself, and he was being shoved down everybody's throat, and they didn't like that. And then finally, The Rock was like, you want to boo me? I'll give you something to boo me about. You know what I mean? So that's Roman Reigns, is why he is so well received right now, is because people get it. Like, he's figured it out. He knows how to make people fucking hate him, and he's good at it. There you go. There's my Hall of Famers.
There are some that don't deserve the Hall of Fame spot at all. There are some that should have been in place of the person instead of them. You know what I mean? But
oh yeah. I can think of a couple.
Like I said before, there's so many who do and do not deserve it.
Well, and I think that's you saying that, like, there are ones, and I think you're thinking, maybe I'm wrong, but are you speaking in the sense of some of these people you're speaking of got into the Hall of Fame and then like some came out about them after they were Hall of Famers, and it was like, you should have your Hall of Fame ripped away from you for that kind of
something like that? Yeah,
I think I know who. I think at least one of them off the top of my head I can think of that.
Many people think the same thing. It's Hulk Hogan.
Okay. The elephant in the room, Hulk Hogan. So what we're talking about, you don't know, is essentially, number one, a pornographic video came out after being in the Hall of Fame. It's him with an alleged friend of his wife, kinky stuff, sex tape. The dude was in the closet, heavy breathing, filming this. And while Hulk Hogan's pounding out his wife, the old Hulkster. But there was that, and then the next thing that happened is that in said video and in said tapes, Hulk Hogan is heard saying some some heavy racial remarks were made. And I think it's still up in the air, right? Are they still up in the air on... I know they've stripped him from the website, correct?
I don't know about that, but I know that he's back with the company.
It's a slippery slope, because you can't let things slide. When you're a public figure, there is a standard that you have to be held to, because obviously you're a public figure. And granted, even whether you're Joe Schmo who, works at McDonald's as a burger cook, or whether you're, the president of the United States, we're all humans and we make mistakes.
Yeah.
We make mistakes. We're all humans. We get angry, and we all are human. And when humans get angry, sometimes we say things that we say them out of anger, but then realize what we say after the fact, that's not us as a person.
Yeah.
That's us being that. So
you could say out of anger, out of context. And then the damage is already done by the time you realize.
Essentially what I'm getting at is that I think the reason why this is a problem to a lot of people is because this is not the first time that this has been brought up. I feel that this was not, if I recall, this was like the second or third time that allegations or stories had come up that he had made racial remarks. So if it's a singular thing, I think that it's atrocious that he did it, but try and make reparations and make it right and show the world that you're not that person. But if this is something where I swear I read that this was like the second or third time this issue has come up, then it's just like, okay, this guy has a problem. Shouldn't be a public figure. Shouldn't be given the time of day. So
okay, if you can choose or name the best 5 matches in your opinion.
cool.
If you can, I will accept 3.
Macho Man Steamboat Mania 3, Intercontinental title, hands down.
Yep.
Top 5 match. 60-minute Iron Man match between Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, phenomenal. That was the first time that guys that small went for the championship, and not only it be a championship bout, but a 60-minute bout. And not a lot of people had faith in them that they could show up and do it.
I know, yeah.
And
you've got some epic matches.
I'm gonna say a newer one, and I have to say it. Money in the Bank 2011, John Cena versus CM Punk. CM Punk walks out. That was a phenomenal 5-star match.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I felt that was a flawless match between them two. And the part 2 of that match at SummerSlam that year, when Punk came back, it was just as good, but Money in the Bank was better because, in my opinion, it was the first one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are we at? We're at 3 so far. I'm impartial on this one just because I was there live and I got to see it. WrestleMania 28, Hell in the Cell, Triple H, Undertaker, HBK special guest referee. Probably, in my opinion, best Undertaker performance. And I don't know, man. Because like I'm thinking of Michaels and Undertaker 1 and 2, but I'm so impartial because I was there for it. So I'm gonna say WrestleMania 28, Hell in the Cell, Triple H, Undertaker. Dude, that was just such a good match. It was a long match. It was like 43 minutes. It was a long match. Number 1 match.
One more.
I'm gonna have to say Bad Blood, Hell in the Cell. And this is just not only because if you knew the behind the scenes that was going on, Shawn Michaels was pretty banged up. But I mean, it was a one-sided ass whooping. But Hell in the Cell, Bad Blood, first appearance of Kane, Undertaker versus HBK in the Hell in the Cell. And then, you know, Kane shows up, rips the door right off the and honorary mention, The Rock versus Triple H, Judgment Day. What was that? Judgment Day 2000, Rock versus Triple H Iron Man match was my honorary mention.
Okay, so for me, not in like 1 to 5, but it's just like.
Mine wasn't in order.
Just in general. As I mentioned earlier, the I Quit match with John Cena and Randy Orton. Ric Flair's final match with Shawn Michaels.
WrestleMania 24.
Yep. I'm Sorry, I Love You. Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
There's so many memes out from that.
There's so many of Undertaker matches.
And Mania matches, dude.
Yeah.
I can think of at least 5 Mania matches that are 5-star matches in my opinion.
Well, I think we can leave Undertaker for a different category.
Yeah, right.
So Stone Cold and The Rock for Stone Cold's final match.
Ooh, yeah, that was a good one too.
That was just back and forth, non-stop. Even where they both stole each other's finishers. That's 3. The New Day against the Usos for the titles in the Hell in a Cell match.
That was a good one.
That was just brutally epic.
Tough, dude. It's tough.
There's so many matches out there that are earth-shatteringly awesome.
That's what I mean. It's tough.
Yeah.
Tough, dude. It's easier said than done.
Yeah. I'd probably say the very first TLC match with Eddie's Edge Christian Douglas.
Yeah, that was crazy when that happened.
Yeah, so I think the my 5 matches.
Good matches.
Yeah.
Good matches.
Who is over or underrated? You can have multiple choices if you want to.
Hulk Hogan.
Overrated or underrated?
Overrated. The only reason I say that is because, like, I've heard all these horrid stories of how terrible of a person he is and how much of a liar he is and, like, how difficult he is to work with.
Yeah, well, back in the day, everyone loved him. I'm fine with that, but these days, no.
Yeah, it was going to be a big no on that for me. Another one, overrated. I feel the Usos are overrated. I really do.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason they've always been pushed, because I think back to WrestleMania 28, okay? The pre-show match was the Usos versus Justin Gabriel. I think it was Justin Gabriel and Evan Bourne. Justin Gabriel, Evan Bourne, and then it was one other team. Epico and Primo, because they came out. That was when they started having Rosa Mendez as their ring valet. Old Rosa Mendez, she was not the greatest. I think Carlito was another one that was underrated, speaking of Epico and Primo, because they're all sons of Carlos Colon. Carlito was overrated. I think John Cena's overrated.
Well, he is coming up for 25 years.
Yeah, exactly. Cena in his prime, though, back when he was fighting The Rock, I think he was definitely, he was the real deal. Underrated? I think Bobby Lashley's one that's definitely underrated.
I actually agree with that one.
I think it's just because of his frame, and I think because of his mic ability. You know what I mean? I feel like he's underrated as a talent.
Yeah.
I think for a long time, and I watched his indie, and now he's back with the company. I think Cody Rhodes was definitely underrated. I think he was underrated, misutilized. I think Goldust is another one. And he showed at, I believe it was Double or Nothing, when him and Cody Rhodes and AEW did their second pay-per-view or second event before it was officially AEW. They had that brother versus brother match, and that was match of the year.
I didn't watch it, so I wouldn't.
Phenomenal match.
I might have heard about it, but I didn't watch it.
Another one for a long time that I feel was underrated was Big E. I think Big E was highly underrated, and hopefully a speedy recovery to him, and he's back soon. There's quite a few, even in the current roster, that I feel. Gunther. I think Gunther is another one. I think he's underrated. I think he's definitely underrated. I think he could be a big time player.
He also won the RC title on Friday Night SmackDown.
I didn't see the most recent episode, but they have a saying, and I'm sure you know this. They have a saying is that when you become an IC champion, it's your test run. It's your test run to see if you could be a possible future champion. It's one of the ways they test you in the company. And I'll say this one right now. Dolph Ziggler. Underrated as
Yes.
Underrated as
Although I'm not that fond of him, I do agree that the Dirty Dogs are underrated. They really need to be given a bit of a push.
I think that it's unfortunate to say this. I hope it's not true. I think his window of opportunity to be a WWE champion or, Universal, whatever you want to.
He did go up on episode of 6th of June, which to us was last week.
Ziggler did?
Yeah.
Ziggler did?
Yeah, he come back, did an interview.
I think he has the potential to be a good champion.
Yeah.
He's very good on the mic. Another one, I'll leave this one where it sits. You guys can talk all the you want. R-Truth. I met that dude in real life. That dude has a lot of charisma.
Yeah, and it's been untouched.
Ron Killings, aka R-Truth. I think that's just another one that's a shame.
When he was in the spotlight with the little Jimmy gimmick.
Oh, dude,
that was amazing. It was funny.
Oh, dude,
it was entertaining the whole round. But no, it's not being used unless it's for the 24/7 title.
Dude, he was so captivating when I met him at WrestleMania 28 Access, because I was right in the prime of the little Jimmy stuff, and he goes up to the table, the autograph table, takes his steel chair, unfolds it, sits it down, well, the guy does, not R-Truth, the security guy. He opens the chair, puts it down for him, and he goes, he's like standing there and he's looking at the security guard, and the security guard's like dumbfounded. This poor guy, I don't think he was cued in on it whatsoever. And he was like, "Well, you ain't gonna get little Jimmy a seat?" I got little Jimmy. And then he walks around the security guard and goes and grabs another chair and opens it. And then he picks up little Jimmy and puts him in the seat and makes sure that you in there good, you good? Aye. And then he goes back around and then sits down.
Yeah, just staying in character.
And then halfway through the autographs, he goes and takes a drink. And he hold on, ma'am, hold on. And he takes his water and starts dumping it on the chair. And everybody starts laughing. He said, "What y'all laughing at? Don't laugh at little Jimmy because he can't hold his water."
Oh, God.
Yeah, so amazingly charismatic and staying in character.
They really need to use Truth more than just for the 24/7 title.
Oh, amazing personality. And Miz is another one I feel is underrated as a superstar.
He's not being used that much, but he is currently underrated.
I think he's definitely underrated. And then somebody was just popping into my head who I felt was overrated.
I think who's overrated at the moment is Omos.
Oh yeah, dude! Dude, he's not good.
He won't be able to sell a newspaper. He can't sell anything. Apollo Crews, who's gone back to NXT. He was underrated, but now he's just in the middle.
I remembered it.
Go on.
Kofi Kingston, overrated, bro.
No.
Yes, dude. Yes.
I think he's in the middle.
I think that when he was champion, he was overrated.
As the champion, only because he deserved it.
Well, he did deserve it, don't get me wrong, but dude, there's a lot of guys that have come through that deserve it but never get it, i.e. Mick Foley. Where was Mick Foley's good title run? Just leave it there. But yeah, I had to say that because...
Okay, who needs a manager? Or doesn't need a manager?
Bobby Lashley.
I knew you was going to say that. I knew it.
Just because I feel he still struggles on the mic.
Yes, he does.
He's like a Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar at times is good on the mic. But Brock Lesnar is amazing when he has Paul Heyman speaking for him.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman hypes him up. That makes him seem like he is such a formidable opponent. Just like Paul Bearer did for The Undertaker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley are more doing instead of saying.
They don't talk about it, they are about it.
Exactly. Yeah. This is why MVP was good with Bobby Lashley.
Oh, I think that was a very good. The Hurt Business was a very good stable. I felt that was a good stable in the direction they were going with it. It's sad it got cut short. I feel like he's been floundering, but this is just my opinion. I mean, I could see it. I know it would probably never happen, but Paul Heyman, Drew McIntyre together, I feel like that. I feel like Drew McIntyre, if it was heel McIntyre, I feel like it could work that he have a manager like a Paul Heyman. I think it could work.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Drew McIntyre is already good on the microphone.
I don't know. I would give him a 3.5 out of 5 stars on the mic. I don't think he's terrible. Let me put it this way. I don't think he's terrible, but I do not think he's great.
Yeah.
I do not think he's something that, oh my God, dude, did you hear what McIntyre said? Like, he doesn't evoke that emotion from me, whereas, like, if it was Stone Cold, or Triple H, or Undertaker, or, you know, I give him props as hell, even though I can't really stand him. AJ Styles. AJ Styles is awesome on the mic. He's you know, very good. Usos, my opinion, need to always have a manager. I don't think either of them are very good on the mic, in my opinion.
AJ Styles is okay on the microphone, I think.
Oh no, I don't think like he's phenomenal or anything like. I don't think he's phenomenal on the mic, but he's decent. He's better than some. I think Finn Balor is somebody that
Finn Balor would be okay with the manager.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he would be, I think, a manager, because Finn, I feel, does not have mic skills. And I feel like that's why they passed on him as the champion.
He's just recently taken Edge's place in the Judgment Day faction.
Well, that's because Edge is getting ready to leave.
Again.
Yeah, he's done. He did an interview back around Mania and said that there really wasn't much more that he could see himself doing or wanting to do. So it would not surprise me at the end of this run that he might be done.
Come to think of it, you can just see it in his face that he's tired.
Dude, he's in his late 40s.
Yeah,
gotta be, or mid 40s at least. Mid 40s at least.
No, I mean like mentally and physically tired. Because obviously one because of his age, two, the injury might be either coming back or.
Well, and you got to remember, he's got a wife and kids.
Yeah.
And that has been his priority since he's been retired.
Yeah.
He's retired for, you know, what was it, 7 years, 8 years he was retired? 9 years, I think it was. Yeah, 9 years he was retired before he came back. So, you know, you got to remember that 9 years.
But oh my God, when he did come back.
Oh, yeah, dude, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing to see Daniel Bryan come back. It was amazing to see him come back.
Yep.
More so him, because he's from our era. So
yeah,
to get one of our guys back,
it was just like a big nostalgia boost.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that music. Well, and that's another thing. I don't like his music. No, I don't like it. To me, Edge will always be Alter Bridge, Metalingus. That's the name of the song. That's the name of the band as well, Alter Bridge.
You think you know me?
Well, the name of the song is Metalingus.
Just those words at the beginning of the song. You always know it's Edge.
Oh yeah. You hear you think you know me, and then fucking heavy ass music, and he comes out.
You could be the biggest gangster in the world, and you have to headbang to it.
Oh yeah, dude, and hits the legs,
Yeah,
throws the
yeah.
horns up, fireworks go off. Like, great. I would definitely put his entrance in top 20 entrances of all time. Definitely in the top 20.
There we go. Another topic. Top five entrances.
Number one, Undertaker.
Yep.
Number one, Undertaker. I don't care what anybody says.
Which version of the Undertaker?
Dead Man, dude. Dead Man, Undertaker, hands down.
Lightning bolts.
I don't give a what anybody says. The pyrotechnics from that motherfucker, dude. You can feel that in an arena with 80,000 people. You can feel the fucking heat blasting off that fucking pyro.
Yeah.
When he fucking comes out, that lightning and that fucking gong hits. It is like goosebumps, especially
I'm getting them now down my back just thinking about it.
Dude, at a WrestleMania, when that fucking music, when that gong hit and the fucking lights went out, it just was something else to fucking experience. That's why they call him the Phenom.
Yeah, because not to take it from AJ, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's the Phenom, the Rock, for sure. That fucking, if you smell as soon as that, where they say he's electrifying, he literally is electrifying, because you can feel it when you're surrounded by 80,000 people and that fucking music hits. It's a pop, as they call it. It's a pop. Edge. Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan's yes. Him coming down and f***ing screaming yes. Triple H has a great one as well. So we'll leave it with that.
Okay. For me, Randy Orton, Undertaker, obviously. Goldberg, Hardy Boys, another tag team, the Dudleys.
Good ones. Good entrances. All good entrances. I can agree with those. We didn't do our top 5 superstars all time.
Well, that should be
Top
easy.
5.
That should be easy.
I mean, I'm going Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Rock, Triple H. Those are going to be my top 5.
Okay, for me, I've got Stone Cold, Randy Orton, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H.
I can agree.
What did you think about the whole Stone Cold Steve Austin, Vince McMahon beer truck?
Oh, the famous beer truck. I think the famous beer truck was great for the time.
It was hilarious.
That's something that I'll always remember that. I'll always remember week in, week out. He was giving the middle finger to the boss. And I think that's why people loved him so much, is because there were so many of us in the world
that wanted to do that.
I mean, I was a kid, so my bosses were my grandparents, which I'm not gonna lie, I may have given a middle finger or two, or a crotch chop, or a know your role and shut your mouth. It didn't normally end very well, but
at least you tried it.
I tried it. But
what do you think about Kurt Angle copying it with the milk truck?
The milk truck. Oh well.
Would you rather be sprayed with beer or milk?
Beer. Beer. I would not want fucking milk on me.
I don't like beer, but I will be sprayed by it. Just for the fun of it.
I would rather be sprayed by beer than milk.
Because milk, after a while, smells. So
that's what I mean. Well, I mean, beer does too, but I mean, milk is just, it curdles. It's dairy. Yeah, just no.
Favorite tag team match.
Favorite tag team match. The tables match at it was the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys at Royal Rumble 2000. Yeah, that would be my favorite. Royal Rumble 2000 tables match between Dudleys and Hardys, definitely.
Yeah, it is a good one. Which title is overrated?
You're gonna hate me for this one. They don't even have it anymore, I don't think. But they used to have the European title. I thought was pretty pointless because they had the European and the Intercontinental. And the United States, I think, is pointless because at one point they had the European, the United States, and the Intercontinental. And if you think about it, you can get rid of the United States and you can get rid of the European because the Intercontinental is all that in one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I do actually agree with you.
yeah, I think the United States Championship and the European Championship were pointless.
They try to compensate for everyone.
Well, that's the thing. They're trying to give different faces to the company because really the main thing people care about is who has the belt around their waist at the time. I don't think they should have got rid of the World Heavyweight title. I think it should have stayed the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight. I think they should have kept those belts separate, and both of them have two totally different looks. You know what I mean? The belts look completely different, not even close to each other.
Yeah. Now that the titles are unified, what are you going to do to Clash of Champions? You can't face yourself, can you?
Well, and if he's still the champion when it comes to Survivor Series, historically it's always been champion versus champion.
Yeah.
For over, what, 10, 15 years now? Every time Survivor Series comes, it's your World Heavyweight Champion versus your WWE Champion.
Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
Yeah, and you know, whoever wins out gets the bragging rights for the year.
Yeah.
And you know, I there's a lot of speculation on that. Do I agree that there should be one belt? Yes. I believe that there should be one champion, one big dog. I mean, if you gotta have six-way matches, have six-way matches. It'll put asses in seats, but I feel like the championship is more coveted than when there's one belt, but that will never happen. And I'm going to tell you why that'll never happen. Because there are two different shows. There are so many house shows a year. There are so many live shows a year. There are so many pay-per-views a year that it's just next to impossible for there only to be one champion.
Exactly.
It's just too much. It's too much of a workhorse schedule.
Yeah, the amount of jet lag that they'll just build up, and
you would burn out your superstar fast.
Yeah. Do you think they should bring back all these fancy? Remember back in the Attitude Era when for each pay-per-view they had a different theme. With Backlash, they had all those like hooks coming out the stage or something like that.
Oh, you mean like gimmick themes for
for the entrances?
Yeah, TLC used to have tables and ladders and chairs hanging from the ceiling, coming down the aisleways.
Do you think they should bring that back?
Yeah, I think it would make the events less bland.
Yeah, because now it's just one big screen and power roll. That's it.
Yeah, well, and then the ring apron isn't even a ring apron anymore. It's a fucking LED screen. Yeah, it's not even a ring apron anymore.
Each time that there was a pay-per-view, I used to look forward to seeing what design it was and how it was laid out, and then see the superstars use it to their advantage.
Yeah, I do miss that.
They should bring them back. You mentioned gimmicks. Which is your favorite?
Favorite gimmick?
Yeah.
I feel like it would be cheap of me to say Undertaker because that's just a given. That's somebody that for almost 30 years lived and breathed his gimmick.
Yeah.
In and outside the ring. I'm impartial. I think the Rock is just such an amazing gimmick. And how he has evolved himself with the times, so many different ways, in just little tweaks and quirks along the way to be relevant.
Okay, my favourite gimmick is Oink and Doink the Clowns.
Oh, those were, dude, I forgot about that. I was like, I brain farted for a second when you said Dink and Doink. The clowns, man. The clowns were the Guns, the original Outlaws, Bart Gunn and Billy Gunn.
Okay, so I think that's all we can think of, isn't it?
Oh, I got, man.
Well, in that case, thank you for watching. If you agree or disagree with anything we said, let us know in the comments. Also, like, comment and subscribe. Put the notification bell on so you get to everything that we do.
And there you have it. That is the podcast of positivity, wrestling edition. Like Gamer Dad said, if there's anything you disagreed on or agreed on, or you would like us to speak on next, put it down in those comments below.
You can find us both on Twitch, Hover, Twitter, Instagram. Everything's going to be linked down below. Thank you once again, and we shall see you next time.